Hey, it's your girl, Dr. J. Listen, we are in the month of March and we're bringing it to a close. And so I just want to lift up and acknowledge one more time before this month gets away from us, and that is Women's History Month. And so all month we've been talking about all the awesome and great things and contributions that women have made. And I know that even now, some of the things that we are doing now, in time come, there will be historic, and people will be talking about some of the things we've done. So I just want to share a biblical story as we bring this month of Women History Month to an end. And so this is actually a biblical story. And so I hope that it is uplifting and inspiring. So this is a biblical story about sisters coming together. It is the story about the daughters of Zelophehad. And so Zelophehad comes from the book of Numbers in the Bible, chapter 27, verses 1 through 11. And so here are the daughters of Zelophehad and the meaning of their name, Hebrew meaning of their name. Milcah, which means the weak or the sick one. Hogla, which means the parched or the flighty one. Noah, which means the tired one, or the one that is bereft of rest. Micah, which means the queen, or one that is above many. And then there's Tirzah, which means the friendly one. So as you can see by name, these sisters were all different, and they probably had different paths of life. Okay, and so we're going to learn that even in the different paths of their lives, how these sisters had to come together. And so here's a bit of historical background about what was going on. Land was essential to family ties, and land was very important. Outside of land, if you didn't have land, you really, didn't exist. And so there was a law that says that if a man died, his land was to be inherited to his sons. And so this is the thing that became a problem for Zelophehad. Zelophehad, he had no sons. He only had 5 daughters. However, he had a plethora of land. And so at this time, people were honoring the law of Moses that made this law. And so these sisters, they thought to themselves that why should our daddy land be given away because he had no son? And so these 5 sisters, even in the differences in their lives, they took time to come together so that they can discuss these laws, this legal land battle, if you will, and this right about women not having or the obligation to land, if you will. And so they got themselves together and decided that we should present ourselves to Moses and make it clear to him that no, our daddy did not have sons, but our daddy had land. And so these 5 sisters, they came together, and these sisters presented themselves to Moses and the high priest Eleazar and the entire congregation. They were in unison. They came with a boldness. They came having their stuff together, and they stuck together. One did not back out on the other. And they presented themselves to Moses and said, listen, our daddy died and he did not have sons. So why should our land be passed over? Or why should the law say that we should not inherit our daddy's land? And these sisters stood together in this statement and saying, Moses, give us our daddy's land. And so the Bible said that Moses was moved by these sisters' unison, these sisters coming together, that he did not rely on a response from Eleazar, the high priest, nor did he rely on a response from the assembly or the congregation. But Moses found himself going into the temple and getting down on his aching and aging knees before the Lord and asking God, what should he do about it? And God spoke to him and said, Moses, the daughters of Zelophehad are right. They should inherit their father's land. And before Moses can get up, the Lord spoke again and said, not only that, Moses, you must rewrite the law that says that if a man dies and he does not have any land, that his daughters they should inherit his land. And so Moses came back out and said to the daughters of Zelophehad, those sisters who came together, you all are right. You should inherit your daddy's land. And Moses also said that this is law, speaking before Eleazar the high priest and the entire assembly of people, that this is the law, that from now on, if a man dies and he does not have any sons, his daughters have the right to inherit the land. Wow, what an amazing story about sisters coming together. What an amazing time to tell the story as we are celebrating and bringing Women's History Month to an end. So I want to say this, by these sisters coming together, these sisters were power makers. They were change agent. They were law, what it is, recreating of laws. They move laws to be changed. You guys know what I'm saying. But what I'm getting at is that this was only done because these sisters, they put their differences aside and they came together and they made something awesome happen. And so I want to say to all of us sisters, we are we are powerful all by ourselves. But oh man, what power we have when we come together. Well, that's my word for us ladies and us women today, coming together. From your girl, Dr. J.